What is it?
Money.
No.
Meet me at my house, 11 o'clock. What are you doing here?
I'm a homicide detective. There's a dead body.
Look at what they got on me. An eyewitness saw me outside their house the night it blew up.
He looked like him. He's the chief of police.
The film opens in the small town of Banyan Key, Florida, where the police chief, Matt Lee Whitlock, is watching TV when he receives a call from Anne, who tells him someone has broken into her house. He rushes over to the house, but it seems quiet, so he goes inside while asking Anne some questions about the break-in. She tells him the man got in through the bedroom window, so he follows her into the bedroom. But this was just an entertaining game these two played to make their relationship exciting. After that, Matt gets a call for a mission, so he has to leave, much to Anne's disappointment. The next day, Matt arrives at a cafe and reads about his previous case in the paper. Then Chris arrives and makes fun of him for being alone, and it turns out Chris is Anne's husband. Matt returns to the office where he finds Che, the medical examiner, nagging him about the money seized from the previous case. He even suggests that he is going to take the money in a joking way, so Matt locks the door. As Che is still talking, Matt focuses on the beautiful Alex, his ex-wife. She wants the keys to his house to grab some stuff, but it just leads to an argument. She manages to grab the keys and leaves, and Che walks back in, but he gets a call, so he has to leave too. Matt is fishing with Anne on the docks right behind him because her man just left for the weekend, so they get inside for fun. They don't see eye to eye in their relationship because Matt still loves his ex, and she is still with Chris. That night, Anne receives a call, so she drives to the hospital with Matt to show him something. They greet the doctor, but she introduces Matt as her brother. The doctor pulls out some papers and tells Anne that her cancer is back, and it's become worse than before. He says she only has 5 or 6 months, and there are only some experimental treatments that have a small chance of working, but they are costly. Matt comforts Anne, who is devastated outside, and they return to bed together. They talk about other forms of treatment, but she doesn't have the money to even think about them. The next day, after getting her some flowers, Matt meets Anne at her home, where she shows him her life insurance policy, which has some odd changes added by Chris. Suddenly, Chris shows up unexpectedly, so she asks Matt to leave. But when he sees him manhandle Anne, he makes an excuse to knock on the door and stop the fight.
Have a good night.
The next day, Matt and Alex have finalized their papers when he gets a call from Anne about her treatment. Alex finds out that Matt got a call from a girl, and she gets upset and leaves. Anne tells him that she found a firm that would lend her money, insure it against her life insurance policy, and collect the money if she died. They give her $750,000, and the two plan how to spend the money in case the treatment goes wrong. But Anne is confident.
I'm gonna beat this.
That night, Anne is upset after getting the news from the firm that they will not accept her policy, and there are only 2 days left before the deadline, so there's nothing else she can do. Later on at the bar, Chris shows up with a question about him and his wife. Matt and Chris are having a bizarre conversation, which ends with Chris indirectly threatening him that he'll kill him if he comes near Anne again.
Just come near her again, and I'll kill you.
Then I would be obligated to do something about it.
Really?
That's right.
Tomorrow morning, Anne shows up with an apology about the last night. He's not mad, but she also changed her life insurance policy by making him the beneficiary, not Chris. She also tells him she's leaving the next day to escape Chris. Later, after getting the divorce papers, Matt calls Anne over and gives her a bag full of drug money. The money he seized from his recent case, so he asks her to return home soon and take the necessary outfit for the trip. They make an appointment to meet at Matt's house, and from there, travel to Switzerland for treatment. Matt gets home but finds Che instead of Anne, so he gets out of his house and calls Anne, but she doesn't answer. He drives to her house and calls again, but there's still no answer. He decides to get out and have a look himself, but as he is snooping around, he triggers some lights and gets seen by a neighbor, so he quickly drives away. In the dawn, he discovers Anne's house is suddenly on fire, and the firefighters are all over it. Matt is shocked when he sees the flames. The fire eventually stops the next morning, and the firefighter shows Matt 2 bodies that died in the fire. He is shocked and can barely speak when Alex suddenly shows up as a detective in the criminal department. As she talks to him, the firefighter picks up a gadget that was the cause of the fire, declaring the accident intentional. After getting to Anne's workplace, they ask the dentist about her condition and learn that she quit because she had terminal cancer. They also learn from the dentist's secretary that Anne may have been having an affair with a man, which worries Matt because he doesn't want Alex to discover his relationship with Anne. So he tries to destroy the evidence.
She got this real big thing of flowers from Rosie's, really nice.
Hey, yeah, Chief Whitlock. Listen, trying to find out if some flowers were sent to an Anne Marie Harrison last week. Chris Harrison.
Her husband.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot, Rosie. Yeah, no, that's all.
They go outside, but Alex has gotten the number of Anne's doctor and wants to talk to him, so Matt starts a fight so that he doesn't have to go and get found out because the doctor has seen him with Anne. Alex doesn't take no for an answer, so they drive to the hospital together. They meet a different doctor who claims that Anne is fully healthy and doesn't have cancer, which is shocking news to Matt, so he rushes out to look for the doctor. But when he opens the door, he finds a different man with the same name as the doctor he met with Anne. And when the doctor tells him he doesn't have a patient with the name Anne, he gets suspicious and takes the pen for fingerprinting. At the station, an older woman is taking a sketch of the man, the same neighbor who saw Matt last night. It looks a lot like him, and the old lady points at Matt and another black man, so they dismiss her as a forgetful older woman. After he gives the pen to get fingerprinted, he gets a call from the DEA about the drugs and the money because they want the money for another investigation, the money that he gave to Anne. Alex then gets a new clue. Anne has recently taken out some life insurance policies. Still, they don't know the details, so Matt volunteers to call the banks and get the information. Matt saw the fax machine coming in with the phone records as he was on the phone, but he played it off as his message. It was the records with his name all over it. Matt scans the documents as the others try to get the records sent. He gets rid of his name from them, and just before the office sends the records, he quickly deletes everything and sends the report to the fax machine. The paper comes out distorted, but he convinces them he can read it so they don't have to get it sent again. But he didn't think of the cell phone records on a different database. When Alex reads out the number, Che recognizes it as Matt's number and, in support of him, pretends that it is his and says he has called Chris to have a beer. He then goes over to Matt to ask about the calls and figures out that he has been sleeping with Anne and that he gave her the drug money. Matt believes he can't tell Alex because things are too crazy and the evidence is too much for Alex to believe him. He then gets a call with the results of the pen fingerprinting. Matt and Che go over to the address of the supposed doctor and break in, but the place is empty, so they look around. Matt finds some bank records when Che finds the ID of a man who was a worker at the morgue, Paul Cabot. He suggests running to Costa Rica as they drive, but Matt isn't done yet. They make it to the station where Alex is taken to the bank in the $1 million policy. However, the beneficiary name hasn't changed, and it's still Chris, but there was a process to change it. Matt calls the bank to check on the statement he found, and the police also found Paul Cabot's bank card, but he isn't in the phone records. As Alex gives instructions on finding Cabot, the bank calls back Matt to tell him that Cabot has made a reservation at a hotel and is likely there now. As he goes out, he is caught by the DEA agents here to get the money. Still, Matt tricks them, saying he sent the money to the DEA office a few minutes ago using one of his officers.
Where the hell is the money?
No, I'm not a parrot. I'm not a parrot. I know what you said.
Where's
Tell you,
what?
call
What?
your partners at the IRS. Tell them to audit me, okay?
Damn it, Chief.
Sorry, I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
On his way to the hotel, he calls them, pretending to be Cabot, and gets the room number. Meanwhile, Alex and her guys also found the same information. At the same time, Cabot is talking to Chris, who is alive and has his fake IDs. Matt takes the room key to Cabot while Alex and her guys are delayed in crossing the bridge. He knocks on the door but uses the card to get inside. He looks around but gets tackled by Cabot from behind. The fight leads them out the window and Matt dangles from the balcony. Both of them keep fighting, but Matt pushes him down and saves himself. As he is about to get his gun, he sees a case filled with the drug money and takes it. Soon after, Alex arrives at the hotel as Matt is in the elevator. He sees her, so he decides to hide, but the receptionist spots him as Cabot, so they chase him up the stairs. He gets to the 4th floor, but is still being chased by Alex, who is close to him. So he sets down the case, runs into her, like he just showed up, and tells her to meet him in the lobby. He calls Che to tell him the good news, but wants to take the money and run to Costa Rica. Alex gets in the car and asks him to talk because she is suspicious. They get to a restaurant and reminisce about their early days, and they touch hands, but then she finds glass in his hair, making her suspicious again. At the station, Alex gets a call and tells Matt that the receptionist is on his way to the station. Matt then gets a call from a trembling Anne, who's still alive. She tells him that Chris and Cabot made her do this after putting fake bodies in the fire and switching out dental records. Alex is almost sure that Matt has something to do with it. Matt then decides to sneak out of the station, climb out of the bathroom window to find Anne, and escape before the receptionist sees him. But before Alex could question him, she got a call confirming that Matt Lee Whitlock was the insurance policy beneficiary. When she goes looking for him, she finds that he has escaped just before the DEA agents arrive at the station. Matt makes it to the old boat by the beach, where Chris and Anne await him. He slowly makes his way inside with his gun in hand. He sees Anne, breaks the door before Chris can shoot him, and runs off to get him from behind. Chris tries to run away, but he gets caught easily and shot by Anne. But she also points it at Matt, and it turns out she was behind all of this, not Chris. After she sees the money, unbelievable, Anne shoots Matt in the leg, and just before she finishes him off, Alex shoots her from behind, saving Matt. Alex was sure she had caught Matt along with the money, but when she checked the case, it was just his GPS tracker. Alex covers for him outside, but the DEA is looking for evidence of money. That's when Che shows up with the money, pretending he couldn't find the DEA office.
Did you love her?
No,
Why would you do this then?
because I'm stupid.
After all these events, Matt is fishing alone when Alex shows up with a smile. She sits down and Matt apologizes to her by admitting his past mistakes. The two rekindle their romance, looking forward to a second chance together. After that, Che shows up with news that Matt is the recipient of Anne's insurance policy. But Alex says that, as his wife, she knows that Matt has to reject it, meaning that she has decided to drop the divorce and move back in with Matt. Overjoyed, Matt seemingly forgets about the life insurance money, though Che is amusingly adamant that Matt must take it.